Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Well, in 2022, Trinity College Dublin will be delivering its postgraduate certificate in Innovation and Enterprise Development in Gorey. Dr. Dan Rogers is the Head of Education with Tangent, Trinity's Ideas Workspace, and he joins us now to discuss the programme. Dan, before we discuss Tangent and the postgraduate certificate programme, you were actually a native of County Wexford.
I am indeed, Carl, yes. So I grew up in New Ross, I still would consider myself a countryman at heart and get back there as much as I can. I later moved to Dublin to go to college and worked in Dublin for some time. But actually, when I went to Trinity to do a PhD, which is where I kind of discovered innovation for the first time and studied in the area of psychology and then later in education specifically. That's what sort of led me to Tangent, shall we say, from there.
So Dan, as I say, you're the head of education in Tangent. So what is Tangent on a practical level, and how has Tangent set about fostering a culture of innovation within the world of entrepreneurship?
Tangent, Trinity's Ideas Workspace, is now just 3 years old. So essentially what it is, it's the front door for innovation at Trinity. So for anybody who has an idea that they want to develop in some way, and you don't have to come to Tangent with a business idea. It could be just the seed of an idea, or maybe you just want to be around people who have ideas and you want that to kind of rub off a little bit and sort of understand what innovation is, maybe participate in a program, maybe get some mentorship, maybe just meet like-minded people. Tangent is a sort of interface platform for that kind of engagement. It can be interdisciplinary engagement, it can be cross-sectoral engagement, all for the purposes of innovative and entrepreneurial outcomes. So we run undergraduate and postgraduate programs within the university. We also run accelerator programs. And we also run a number of sprint and mentorship programs, all focused on innovation and entrepreneurship.
As part of your contract with Springboard, Trinity College Dublin is delivering a postgraduate certificate in Innovation and Enterprise Development here in Wexford. Specifically, who is this programme aimed at, Dan?
Yeah, it's a really good question. We're really excited about this programme, which is delivered in Wexford. So the specific target audience for this program, actually it's quite varied. So this program is available to people who are currently in employment but have an interest in innovation and entrepreneurship. So it may be that they are looking to progress or develop their role within their organization in that direction. Maybe they want to take more of a leadership role in the area of innovation. Maybe it's that they're looking to pivot their career in some direction or maybe transition to a new sector, and they're looking to upskill. So this course is going to give people the kinds of skills that are transversal, so the things like experience of working in high-performance teams, developing leadership skills, strong communication skills, that articulation and communication of an idea or an innovation in an articulate and influential manner. So you gain these kinds of skills working together in the course. So it can be people in employment who are interested in a change. Maybe it's to upskill to progress to a new role. You could also be an aspiring entrepreneur. So maybe you're somebody who's working on your idea part-time and you've got the idea, but you're just not sure of the kind of framework that you want to develop and build upon that idea in a business context. You need the nuts and bolts of the sort of enterprise experience to take that idea to the next level.
And Dan, I'm interested to find out why Wexford was selected as a location for this particular programme. How did you identify a need for it here locally?
Yeah, so nationally there's been a couple of studies over the last number of years identifying towns in Ireland that are at risk, and at risk due to automation. So technology, obviously, as we know, is progressing and developing year on year, and a number of jobs are lost to technology as the years progress. But there are certain things that help a town sort of thrive, and there are skills that are required in order to keep people in employment. And these skills tend to be the ones that are transversal, the ones that endure beyond, let's say, the technological advances. And they're the kinds of ones that I mentioned.
So tell us, what will business owners and employees of businesses learn from this programme if they do participate?
Yeah, so the course breaks down into three 10-credit modules. So there's three modules. The first one is innovation and creativity. So that will introduce participants to concepts of convergent and divergent thinking. So how to brainstorm new ideas. So say you're a business owner and you've been operating for some time and you've got your way of doing things, but you're interested in shaking things up a little bit. Maybe opening up to new markets, considering how your products could be of interest to new audiences. This will help you do that, and it'll just help you, I suppose, think outside the box, to use that phrase, think a little bit more differently about how you approach your business in terms of creativity. So you'll also discover tools such as design thinking. So design thinking being a human centered approach to innovation, which is essentially about problem solving using human empathy. So how do we empathize with the end users or customers of our product or service? The second module is opportunity generation and recognition. And this is really about, how do you think like an entrepreneur? And this is equally valuable, if you're within an organization as it is if you're owning your own organization, because the entrepreneurial mindset is something that is just that. It's a mindset. So how do you become somebody who is able to recognize the potential for opportunities in the things that you do on a day-to-day basis? And then the final module is enterprise development, and that's really the nuts and bolts of, say you do want to set up that business. So you say you are that aspiring entrepreneur and you want to really understand, how can I take this business to the next level? How can I set up maybe a legal entity? How can I get some investment? What are the opportunities that exist out there? What's the financial sort of landscape for startups? What are the supports? And how do I really make a viable plan around this and build a team around it?
So Dan, how will this theoretical content then be applied to a real-life enterprise environment during the programme?
So if you're working within a company and you're to participate in a program like this, something like design thinking, is invaluable to any organization, really. So you learn about design thinking, but you learn about really how do I work in a cross-functional team. So in other words, many companies will have a department for this and a department for that, so departments with different responsibilities within the organization. Design thinking is all about how do you take people from different departments, different backgrounds, different ideas, and how do you generate innovation through that diversity of thinking, that diversity of approach, and how do you solve problems for your organization with that framework? So it's a really valuable approach to working. It's very much sort of, we use this concept of fail fast and fail early. So if you're using design thinking within an organization, you're more likely to take risks on new ideas without necessarily the level of financial investment or even people resources associated with it. So you're encouraged to try out new things using this framework. And then if it fails, you develop insights as to how it failed, and then you sort of report back on those insights, and then you learn how to do it better the next time. So you're failing better and failing forward, as we say. So design thinking is a way to really develop new ideas, work in cross-functional teams, be more innovative within an organization. So we really feel that we mimic that within the course. So you would work with fellow course participants using a framework like that. But the idea would be, because you're currently working while participating in the program, that you can reflect on how you are currently able to apply those tools in real time in your role within a company.
And on that point, I'm conscious that there's many of our listeners now this morning that are managing businesses or running their own businesses here across the county and across the southeast, and they're time poor. And it's probably the one thing that holds them back from going back to education, the time commitment that they're going to have to make to live sessions. And in addition to that, the time then they're going to have to commit to assessments. What would you say to that?
Absolutely, Carl. That is something, when we speak to prospective applicants for courses like this, we hear quite a lot. People are concerned about the contact time and commitment to the course. So I'm happy to say that this course, the specific course that we'll be running in Wexford is part-time. It's short. It will run over 22 weeks. It's scheduled in the evenings, so it's outside of work hours. It's not a big commitment in the evening, so it's about 2 hours, 2 evenings a week. And there are breaks in that period. So over 22 weeks, it would be 2 hours each evening. 2 hours, 2 nights a week. And in terms of the time commitment outside of the contact time, the good news is there's no exams, but there is continuous assessment. So there's small pieces of assessment that you would do that would relate to the activity or exercise that you participated in class in the Amber Springs Hotel in Gorey. The other thing we sometimes hear is that from prospective applicants is that their age is a concern, that the level that they're at, maybe they've previously been to college and they've worked for a number of years. And, it's really important to mention that this course is aimed at adult learners, and typical age range within the class would be something between 40 to 45. So just to mention that.
And Dan, because the programme itself is a springboard programme for those that are unemployed, there's no contribution at all to be paid. And for those that are in employment, there's just a 10% contribution to be paid. So finally, if any of our listeners this morning are interested in participating on the programme, or indeed getting some more information about it, what are their next steps?
So next steps, it's important to mention that the course, we have seen a lot of interest in this course. I would encourage people to get the applications in as soon as possible. So springboardcourses.ie is where you need to go to apply. If you're on Google, just Google TCD Tangent and the course will come up. But springboardcourses.ie is where you would go. Google TCD, you'll see the Postgraduate Certificate in Innovation Enterprise Development and begin your application. So beginning the application as soon as possible is really important because there's a number of steps in each application in terms of documents that you'll need to upload, etc., in terms of your CV, a short letter of interest, and prior qualifications. So just on that, it's worth mentioning that officially the course has a level 8 prerequisite, so people should have a level 8 honours degree when applying. However, Trinity has a recognition of prior learning policy, which is fantastic because if you can demonstrate employment or industry experience that makes you eligible and orients your experience for a course like this, you can still be deemed eligible to apply. So don't be put off by the level 8. If that's not you, please do apply. And you'll be applying as a recognition of an RPL candidate, somebody who's having their prior learning recognised in advance.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Dr. Dan Rogers from Tangent in Trinity College Dublin, and I'm sure that this programme will be of benefit to people right across the county.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast.